Shefsky here, and welcome to Fantasy House. Every week I have a different friend come on and take us through an imaginary tour of their trippy fantasy house. It's the world's only not safe for work real estate podcast, and I'm pretty stoked about it. It's really fun. If you ever listened to MTV Cribs when you were a kid, if you ever watched that, and then you grew up and you're like, man, I wish they had like a surreal MTV Cribs in the Rick and Morty world. Well, that's pretty much what this podcast is. And I'm excited. This episode's going to be great. It's brought to you by me, Jon Shefsky, your Southern California real estate agent, the only one left after the recent biblical events. So go ahead and send me an email, or you can go to my Instagram. You can hit the call button, or you can text me there and direct message me. I'd love to be of service if you're thinking about buying a home, selling a home, investing in apartment buildings, anything like that. Hit me up. This week is going to be a fun episode. I don't know if you noticed by the tone of my voice, I toned it down at the beginning.
It's way better.
My guest, Ari Mannis.
Thank you.
Hilarious stand-up comedian and podcast consultant. It's going to be a fun episode. Let's do this episode in the words of the great Angelo Bowers. Let us do this!
Won't you take it all around over to your fantasy house? You're the hostess with the most experience in your fantasy house. Get all the money for expensive construction. The only limit your imagination.
I always liked all comedy until I got into comedy. I didn't even know that they were different forms of comedy. Like I thought Carrot Top, Bill Hicks, George Carlin, Chris Rock, Mitch Hedberg, I thought it was all the same thing.
Right.
I didn't even know, like my buddy Angelo used
Different
to tell me, he'd be
styles,
like, oh, you like that alt comedy. And I'd be like, huh? Like what's alt comedy?
Yeah,
like,
true.
I didn't understand there was a difference between like a rant comic and someone passionate.
Even me, when I was a kid and I was just absorbing every piece of stand-up I could get.
Yeah.
Like any comedian. Obviously, I had my favorite comedians.
Sure, same here.
But I never had the thought like, well, that guy sucks at comedy. I never thought like that.
I didn't think Gallagher or Larry the Cable Guy were even different forms of comedy. It's like, that's comedy.
Yeah, someone would be like, I like that guy. I'd be like, oh, he's not one of my favorites. But I never thought to myself, that person sucks. And that's how certain people think now. They either go, I like this person, or fuck that person.
That's super. Just like everything else, it's like polarization.
Yeah,
it's very deep and it's very extreme. It's just like, that's not my favorite, but I don't hate it. It's just I just didn't crave it right now.
Right.
Rather than fuck that shit. You're like,
yeah, I want to quit comedy and learn how. And my whole job is to figure out how to lessen the haters and the trolls in the world. I want to solve that global crisis
with like a nonprofit or something.
Yeah, I want to start a nonprofit, and their whole objective is to help.
You're the guy to
trolls.
Do that. You're the guy to do that because you've always had creative ideas. I remember when you were what was that? Naked and Afraid.
I tried getting on the show Naked and Afraid.
Dude,
yeah.
Can you tell that story for our listeners? Because I fucking love this. This is when we were I think we were newer friends at this point, right?
Well, it was, I have a bit about it, but. Basically, I mean, there's not really too much of a story to it. My cousin actually was telling me about the show. Mm-hmm. And so he came over and we were watching it. And I loved it right away. I think the show Naked and Afraid is a great show. It's just two people out in the wilderness having to survive off the land. It's entertaining. It feels there's something real about it. You think, oh, could I, you have the thought, could I survive out there? Totally. And I immediately after watching it said, I want to do that. I want to be on the show. I want to see if I could do it.
That's chutzpah right there.
And he's like, well, you can't do it. These are survivalists. You're a comedian. You can't do it. And I was like, I think I could do it. And he's like, you can't. And then so I went to I Googled how to be on Naked and Afraid. Yeah. I submitted an application to Discovery Channel.
Which had to have been brutal, right? I felt all those before.
A lot of paperwork, and I bullshit. I made a fake resume and embellished. Not even bullshit. I embellished a lot of things in my life. Like I said that I went to a military school, which would kind of be like, because they have a lot of prior military people on there because they get taught survival things.
Yeah.
And I did go to military school. Did I learn any survival stuff in it? Not really, but it looked good on the resume. I said that I went to UC Santa Cruz, which is located right in the redwood forest, and there was backpacking. And so I just did these things that made them. I talked about my skateboard trip across the country. So They brought me in. They did the whole application. They took my blood. They made me sign a contract saying I wasn't going to leave the country. I was in. And then they heard me talking about it on stage, and I was out.
How'd they hear you?
Opened my big mouth.
How'd they hear you talking about it on stage?
It's like we perform in LA all the time. A lot of these
like someone
producers.
From production was there?
Yeah. It all takes is one person who works on set that goes, "Hey, I was at the store last night. This comedian was talking about how he faked
for our show.
How he got on our show."
But I feel like you glossed over that part. Dude, when you were telling me about this, when you were doing it, I was like, my mind was blown. You were telling me that you were basically lying about having a bunch of survival experience.
Yeah, because like I said, I told them that I went to military school and learned survival training. I told them that I went to Santa Cruz and learned how to survive in the Redwood Forest. I told them... I just embellished everything.
Yeah.
I was lying because I don't know how to survive in the wild.
And when you were telling me...
I watched a lot of survival shows. That's about it.
When you were telling me that you were in the process of that was like one of those moments where I was like, this guy's fucking cool. Because you were telling me... I like I said, we were friends and like, we knew each other like acquaintance through comedy and whatnot and doing things in stand-up. And then you were explaining to me how you were lying about it. And I was like... This is a survival show, Ari. This isn't like you lying about having some sort of experience in some show or like a cooking show, and then you go on it and you're like, I don't really have. This is. But they're going to put you out in the wilderness, and you were like, yeah, but I'm going to fucking get on the show. And I was like, this guy is badass.
But you know what? I mean, that's kind of how I think I live my whole life, and everyone else does. You have to put yourself in a situation to do the situation. How do you become a survivalist? You go out in the wilderness and see if you can survive. How do you become a feature comedian? You force yourself to go feature.
Yeah.
How do you be a headliner? You headline. How do you do anything? How do you cook? How do you become a chef? You start cooking.
Yeah. But yours was, you were getting onto a TV show. Like, you weren't just going to test yourself out for a day of
because then I wouldn't do it. If no one was forcing me to do it, and then you're out in the wilderness and you don't have any food or water, you're gonna be like, after 10 hours, you're gonna be like, this fucking sucks. I'm going home. You had to be forced. Yeah, sometimes you have. And it's like, oh, can I do 20 minutes of stage? I remember the first time I featured, I had to do a half hour. I didn't have a half hour, but how else are you gonna get a half hour? You have to force yourself to do the half hour. If not, I'm just gonna be like, why would I do a half hour when I don't need to? I don't know. Does that make sense?
Kind of, yeah, I guess so.
Like if you and me right now said, let's go out into the wilderness and see if we can survive. After a day, we're going to be like, I think we could do it. So let's just go home and get let's go to Applebee's.
But that's so different than being like, I think I could do a half an hour stand up. All right, well, let's just go but survival is death.
No, you wouldn't die. There's a whole camera crew out there with you. If you were actually dying and starving, and
I guess that's a good point.
They're going to give you food and water.
Well, for the past 4 years, I've been glorifying you. Be like, Ari, now there's a man that's not scared of shit. And you're like, nah, I wouldn't die.
I mean, it still is. You're getting naked on camera and putting yourself into an uncomfortable situation where you might be miserable, but you're not going to die. Most likely. You never know.
I haven't really watched that show very much. How do they deal with being naked? Like the elements on your genitals? Like
that's part of the big. So, like a lot of people make the joke when I talk about it. A lot of people will say, "Oh, you're probably going to have sex with the girl you're with, huh?" But if you watch the show, you know
nobody's having sex.
That's not even on your mind because after day one of being on Naked and Afraid, you are sweating, dirty. You are hungry, you are thirsty, you are exhausted, you're sunburnt, you're trying to stay warm at night. The last thing on your mind is, hope I can fuck this chick.
Yeah,
you're thinking, I hope I can find water.
And if you're not into it, she's definitely not into it.
Have you ever, picture this. You ever go on a long run or you go to the gym?
Yeah.
And then you get back home and you're tired and you're thirsty. Imagine right now you going on a long exercise run, completely naked, you come back home, you don't have food or water, and your wife is like, you in the mood? No, I'm not in the mood. I'm not in the mood at all. I want to take a shower. I want a glass of water. That's what Naked and Afraid is, times 10.
It sounds so intense. Because just being vulnerable and naked is just, that's why the show's such a hit, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Is it still on?
It's real. I think it is, yeah. I believe it is still on. And I have still yet to do it.
If you had your own show, what would it be?
My own TV show?
Yeah.
I have ideas. I have shows. Here are the 3 ideas I wrote this year for reality-based shows. One would be called Legalish, where I teach people kind of the gray areas of life. So whether that be ordering things off the dark web, getting prostitutes in Mexico, whatever the thing is, running an illegal business out of your home, like just different kind of gray areas of life that no one would go to jail for, but probably are going to be frowned upon by their parents.
Kind of like the Nathan For You kind of area of like comedy, or
I mean, Nathan For You is a guy going and helping struggling businesses. This is more. The only similarity is there's a host.
Oh yeah, that's why I was just feeling like the tone of like what channel would it be on?
I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know. I'm thinking of probably internet or HBO, somewhere that it has a lot of adult content.
Okay, HBO's great,
because there's going to be gray area, legal Vice maybe.
I was just gonna say Vice.
Yeah,
it's got illegal stuff.
Old Vice though, new Vice is kind of liberal pussies.
What is it really? What's new Vice?
Like Vice just came out with an article shitting on. Who did they shit on? Like the Chappelle special?
Vice shit on the Chappelle special?
Yeah, or was it Sebastian?
Culture.
One of the Vice came out with something.
Glorifying like heroin prostitution for 30 years.
Yeah,
and then they're going to shit on
crazy thing. Vice
special?
was always kind of the edgy. I always found Vice to be a little edgy, and
but they're corporate now. Aren't
now
they?
They're like liberal cucks.
Oh, it's such a pain in the butt.
So it would be on old Vice.
Okay.
The other show idea I had is called Astonishing Engagements.
What's that?
This is a show more geared towards women.
Okay.
And each episode will follow around 3 different people as they prepare to propose to their significant other in an extreme way. So let's say you were about to propose to your fiance, to your girlfriend, and you were planning on jumping out of an airplane and doing it. That would obviously take a lot of prep and thought. You'd have to pick out the ring. You'd have to call the place ahead of time and let them know what you're planning on doing. You'd have to get your girlfriend to agree to it. Everything has to go according to plan. So I want to film that, capture that. 3 different people in episode. You might capture it going perfectly. You might capture a failed proposal. Someone might say no. Who knows?
Yeah,
I think that'd be a good show that women would like.
Did you have so many great ideas?
Thank you. And
you're creative and you have the chutzpah. I'm like, dude, you're just going to make cool stuff.
Oh, no. These are just ideas. I don't have anyone to pitch them to I'm pitching
I think right now,
this podcast.
But, dude, I can see the future of this stuff because even like, again, like when I first started being like paying attention when you were telling me how you were faking your resume for a survival show. And I was like, wow, dude, like this is cool. Like it perked my ears up. And I'm like, oh, dude.
It hasn't been working out for me.
Dude, you've only been doing comedy. You've been doing comedy for what, a decade?
8 years, yeah.
8 years, not even 10 years yet, dude. Yeah. Like everybody that's been doing it for a long time that's successful is like, yeah, it takes a long time. Like,
yeah.
So right now you're thinking it hasn't been working out so far. Well, sorry that you weren't the anomaly that made it in 5 years, but
yeah,
you still have plenty of time.
I need to be the anomaly.
I think it's more realistic to be like 12, 14, 15, 16 years to be like, oh, something's hitting and they take me seriously and I have a killer hour and just everything built up. But these ideas are fun.
No, you're right. I'm doing fine.
And by the way, you were talking about like all these people like leaving bad comments. And I just remembered right now, one of my good friends, my buddy Cole, freaking loves you, and he's seen you live a bunch, and has brought you up when I've talked about different people that I'm going to have on the show. On
that's
Fantasy
cool.
House.
Who's
and when I was like,
Cole Jenkins?
No, he's in the what do you call it? He's a mortgage broker. He's in the
I don't know
real estate world.
Do I know him or I don't know?
I don't know if you've ever met him,
okay.
But he knew you by name from seeing you at like Ice House and
that's
like
awesome.
And remembers you and it's like, oh, Ari Mannis, that like when I was going down a list telling him like because he's been on Fantasy House.
Okay, sweet.
And when I was going down a list showing him like other people that I was going to have upcoming and I was excited about this guest and that, he knew your name and
You're
was
right.
excited.
I'm being too hard on myself.
So for every fucking 1,000 people that you're like, those people said bad stuff, remember like those people that are like, that guy's hilarious, I fucking love that comment.
You're right. No, I'm just a neurotic,
That's okay, you're Jewish, you're allowed to be neurotic,
myself.
right?
But no, things are okay. Oh, my last idea for a show.
Oh, one more idea.
Was
is this number 4?
This is the third one, I think. Is called Tailgaters. And this is a sports show.
Title.
There's a sports show with no sports. So we go around to all the biggest sporting events in the world.
Yep.
We're not talking about the sport. We're talking about the parties and the events and the tailgate parties surrounding the sport.
The culture. Yeah.
The culture.
That's awesome.
All my ideas, I feel they all sound kind of like they've been done before, but I can't think of a show that's done them in my head.
No,
they sound like kind of easy ideas, but how come there's no show on the Travel Channel like that? It's an easy idea.
Sometimes, and I've run into this a couple times. Sometimes you go, "There's no show like this," and it's a genius idea, and you find out that someone did do a pilot, like a bigger comic, or did a pilot that was in that same topic, and it didn't get picked up, and so everyone's scared of it, and until they forget it in 4 to 6 years, you can't pitch it again. So that's always a possibility,
right?
Because the idea could still be genius. It's just like, but whichever pilot was made didn't execute it right, or just wasn't the right time for it. But I love the sports thing because I don't pay attention to a lot of sports.
Me neither. But I would still find that interesting. I don't follow football or baseball or any of those sports. But if there was a show like that, I'd watch it.
Dude, just celebrating the culture and like having
just seeing kind of like the culture around Wimbledon.
Yep.
The strawberries and cream parties.
Yep. I didn't even know they have those.
Yeah.
The strawberries and cream.
Yeah, you know how in Wimbledon it's like rich people and they all wear white.
Yeah.
And everyone who's a member of the Wimbledon tennis club are probably British royalty. Who knows what kind of people are there?
Yeah.
So the parties surrounding that are probably insane.
Oh yeah.
Probably cocaine everywhere, high-end escorts. Who knows?
Weird stuff that like regular people don't even think about because they're not even at that point where they need those things to be satisfied.
Exactly.
Yeah. Weird stuff.
Yeah.
Like we actually drink a horse's blood and slowly kill it. Like,
probably catered by world-class chefs. Who knows?
Oh, Wolfgang Puck.
Yeah. Oh no, Wolfgang Puck is like rich
is
for
ghetto?
poor people. You
He's
know
rich
what I
for
mean?
poor people? Okay.
Like actual rich people don't eat at Wolfgang Puck.
Well, he does have a great steakhouse in L.A.
I'll eat there. I eat at Cece's Pizza.
That's right.
But you talk to a billionaire and then go Wolfgang Puck. No,
Wolfgang Puck. Doesn't he have a restaurant inside all the Targets?
Yeah. I don't eat at Wolfgang Puck.
I eat at some chefs that you don't even know his name. You don't even know what his name is. I eat at his restaurant.
I have a private chef that I trained myself. And I put him through the best culinary schools in the world so I could pay him $1 million just to cook for me.
No one pays their chef $1 million. Even the wealthiest people still don't pay that much for their chefs, I don't think.
I wonder how much Trump's personal chef makes.
I bet you Trump does not pay. Do you think Trump would pay good money for his chef? I see chef.
Yeah.
I think so?
He probably lives pretty large.
You think so?
Yeah, Trump.
I don't know.
You picture him more as like a cheapskate, like, I'll order off Postmates.
Everything I know about that guy is all like stuff that the media has told me, so I have no idea. But, I imagine...
I think he likes to live large and glamorously.
I think billionaires do... But
he would want an expensive private chef just so he could talk about his expensive private chef to his friends.
But there's a ton of people that make a ton of money that also... like get off on getting a leg up and bargaining and getting a deal, even though they're super rich.
Oh, that's true. He might be a bargainer.
He's such a guy to like try to price gouge and get get the best deal.
This is $1 million chef. I pay him $100,000 a year.
Totally.
Yeah. You're right.
They get hard off that. Like they're sexually, I think, so satisfied that they have to get hard off of like, I really took advantage of that person. It feels so good. Like you know what I mean? Like
no, you're right.
I remember I read on Reddit there was a really great thread that I got absorbed in. It was private chefs and like all the different things that they had worked at and play and people talking about like different like Saudi Arabian guys and how Russian oil like magnates in their giant like their yachts like not tipping their chefs and their crew and like other countries and places where they treat you this way and that way for being the private chefs for billionaires. And it's interesting because it's just like the rest of society. Like some people are really good at taking care of their help and the people that work with them and for them, and some people aren't. And I could totally imagine a bunch of super, super wealthy people being like, I got him. Yeah, he's $1 million private chef. You know how much?
Yeah, it's like any Jewish millionaire likes doing
You're
that.
Fucking racist.
Any Jewish person I've ever met likes to talk about the deal they got.
Oh, it's so funny. It's so and being a Jew, I think you're allowed. Are you allowed to say that without?
I don't know.
I don't care. Do we get in trouble for that? As a Jew, can I even criticize my own?
I don't know what you're supposed to.
We are financially obsessed.
In 2019, you're not allowed to, you'll get canceled for anything.
We are financially obsessed. I literally, my uncle is so frugal, and I don't think he makes like a couple $100,000 a year, but he makes like good money and like just dresses so bad. Like we'll eat the cheapest food.
My dad is a doctor.
What are you waiting for?
My dad is an emergency room doctor.
Yeah.
I don't know how much money he has, but drives a Porsche.
Well,
he owns a home in an expensive part of San Diego. He's doing great, and he wears shirts that are covered in holes, not because it's stylish, but because he's just not going to throw it out until
If you would have told me your dad drove a Sentra like my dad, then I'd be like, okay, your dad needs to learn how to just... My dad drove a Sentra with no air conditioning back and forth from El Segundo for like 2 hours a day commuting for like the last 5 years of his career, just because he was like, just let me get to the finish line of retiring. I was like, with Kirkland tennis shoes, his friends are all driving BMWs and like...
Yeah. And he could buy one. He's just like, this is it.
I respect it. I respect it though. I respect like people being not being wooed in.
When I see Bobby Lee pull in the Comedy Store in an old beat up Prius, I'm like, that's pretty cool because he could buy whatever car he wants.
He probably just dropped the last like 5 checks and forgot where he left them.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, Bobby probably has done so much work for free because they've mailed him a check and he just left it in the envelope for years.
Oh, dude. Where's your fantasy house at? What's it look like?
My fantasy house.
Paint me a sweet little picture, dude.
Are we talking fantasy house in my current life, or are we talking a fantasy house if I was a billionaire and retired?
Do I...
You know what I mean by that? Like, am I still being a comedian in my fantasy house, or am I just a rich billionaire that's building my fantasy house?
It's one of those things where I will give you limits and guides if it makes you happy, if you need a little bit of like discipline to have your freedom.
I'm wondering which is more interesting to people listening. Fantasy houses
this isn't live
of a billionaire,
voting.
Or is it more interesting to hear like a realistic fantasy house? Because my realistic fantasy house, my actual dream, is to get a Sprinter van and turn it into a tiny house and live in it.
Okay, I love that.
Is that podcast worthy? Because that's what I want. I want
whatever you say is going to be.
I want a Dodge ProMaster.
Okay.
159-inch wheelbase extended.
Okay.
I want to build a queen size bed in the back. Okay. I want a little shower and a compost toilet.
Okay.
In it.
What's a compost toilet? And how does
compost
that work?
Toilet means that there's no plumbing.
You just drive around with your shit in there.
Yeah, but you put compost on top. So you take a shit and you would put compost on top, and it's biodegradable.
So the van doesn't stink.
And there's a fan. Yeah, there's a fan that is a vent that goes to the outside of the van, and so the van does not stink.
Okay.
I want a little shower.
What color is the van on the outside? Describe it to us.
Oh, that's a good question. Maybe silver or gray, something where obviously a blacked out van looks cool, but it's not good for heat. It gets dirty quick.
It gets very dirty.
I want it functional. I want it a matte gray.
Matte gray. Ooh, very sexy. Okay.
Yeah.
Tinted windows, I'm assuming, because you
tinted windows that you can open to let air in. I want a max air fan, a fan on the ceiling.
Okay.
I want shore hookups for power and AC. I want to have a Wi-Fi antenna out there and a solar panel. The whole roof is covered in a deck with solar panels. So I have a big lithium battery bank that I could power my laptop and cameras for days.
So what's it look like on the inside now? So let's go inside.
So the inside is going to be pine grove and birch wood.
So it's very light.
It's light. It smells like wood. It's beautiful finishing. Yeah. I mean, this is top notch.
I can like almost smell it right now.
Yeah, and it's quality. I mean, I want handmade furniture, handmade like countertops made out of cutting board. Birch cutting board.
Yeah.
I want a Berkey water filter sitting on top of the counter and just have delicious filtered water from an Alaska stream or wherever I am.
Wherever you are.
Yeah, I can go to the nearest stream, put it through the Berkey, just drink it.
Is that the term you use? Put it through the Berkey.
No, there's a company called Berkey. It's an American water filter company.
Is it like the best
one?
one?
It's not the best, but it's you don't need to hook it up to electricity or anything. It's a gravity-fed water filter, and you just put water up top, and it comes out clean.
Is that Brita does that too?
It's like a Brita, but way nicer.
Okay.
Isn't it? Yeah. So it's a Brita, but it's $350.
Oh wow!
It's a $350 Brita. So it's not crazy money.
But it's still like that's pretty
I have a Berkey in my apartment.
How often do you have to replace your Berkey?
You replace the filter once a year.
So it's $350 a year.
No. The filter is $100.
Oh, okay.
So it's $100 a year.
So it's not that crazy.
$350 initial investment.
And is Berkey is that better than like just getting just getting a filter like a osmosis, reverse osmosis, or any of those things, or the same, or because reverse osmosis gets rid of a lot of minerals too that are good for you.
I'm not that up to date. It's definitely better than a Brita. I'm not that up to date on reverse osmosis filtration. I think there's some really nice filters that are called ionizers, but they're several $1,000s. Wow. So I think there are better filters than Berkey filters, but this is, you don't need to plug it into the wall.
Is it just the pitcher?
It looks like a pitcher, yeah. So it's called a gravity-fed water filter.
I got to see this.
And there's competitors to it, too. I think there's one called the Alexa Pure, and there's Berkey-type ones. Berkey's just the most popular one, so that's the one that people would know. So, yeah, I want one of those in the van. Fresh. I want a TV in the van. This is going to be nice. This is going to be a $100,000 van.
Okay.
I mean, there's one, I want to make it myself, but I basically want, it's like, there's one called a Winnebago Revel, and it's a Mercedes Sprinter. And
that's like a pretty common for the Sprinters, the Mercedes Sprinter.
Yeah, a lot of people do this Mercedes Sprinters, Dodge ProMasters, and Ford. I forget Ford's model, but there's 3 different vans that people use for conversions. I want the Dodge ProMaster.
Why do they pick Sprinter versus like one of those nice cube like where it has the cab attached to it, but a cube motorhome? Like, what's the benefit of the Sprinter? Is it better gas mileage?
Oh, you're saying like,
so like
why would someone get a Sprinter over the bigger?
If you're already getting like a 20-footer, like
so these vans have a few advantages. One's gas mileage. They make, for example, the Mercedes Sprinter is diesel, so it's getting 20 something to the gallon.
Really? Wow.
So and that diesel engine can go a long time, and it's fairly powerful, so you can get up any hill. I think they even have a 4x4 model that you could do some light off-roading in. But the main advantage, the reason why I, for example, want a Dodge ProMaster van over a C-Class motorhome is these vans can park in a normal parking spot. So potentially I could live in my house and use it as my car. I could sleep if I need to. I could just park on the side of the road and fall asleep.
Not calling attention.
Yeah. If you have a C-Class motorhome, it's obviously going to draw attention. But even more than that, you're not allowed to park a C-Class motorhome in a McDonald's parking lot. It won't fit. It won't fit in the parking space. So you have to go around searching for parking. You can't park it on a residential street. It's illegal. It literally won't fit. It'll jut out into the road too far.
So you have to park at campground.
You have to find campground parking or a Walmart or someone's driveway or somewhere that could fit.
Anywhere you want, you're good.
Yeah, Sprinter van, anywhere you want, you can park it.
Okay.
So that's the real appeal. I want satellite radio. I mean, this thing's going to be nice. This thing is going to have it all. I want LED lighting throughout the whole thing. I want USB hookups to charge my phone throughout the whole thing. I want.
Are you having any pets?
A water heater.
I know you like reptiles and fish.
Yeah, maybe I keep my tarantula up in the corner of one. That's about it. Some people have dogs in them. But yeah, I like these. I like tiny house living. I fall asleep to tiny house videos every night. I love the have you seen the storage? What are they called? The shipping container houses.
Oh, dude,
have you seen those? Those are awesome.
I love those. I watched a guy who's building them up in Joshua Tree, and I just love the way those.
Yeah, that's been a fantasy of mine. Get a acre in Joshua Tree and just go put a shipping container on it, and then Airbnb it out.
That's very doable.
Yeah, it's kind of doable. But it's just, it takes work in the initial.
But you're a guy that plans and has a vision, so you're the guy to do those kind of things.
Yeah, but it always takes longer than you think.
That's for sure.
So let's say I wanted just for fun to go build this thing in Joshua Tree.
Yeah.
That's going to take 3-4 months at least. And then the whole time I'm there, I'm going to feel guilty that I'm not doing comedy stuff.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty intense. And from what I hear too, with California's regulations, if you're building from the ground on up, like building, there was a video on YouTube for someone that built in Joshua Tree, and he was talking about just getting permits was hell.
Yeah,
just hell trying to.
Yeah, it's not like, for example, I had the dream initially of buying a piece of land on Malibu and doing that in Malibu. You can't do that in Malibu. They won't approve it. If you're like, I want a shipping container house in Malibu,
stay out of Malibu.
Not allowed. Yeah, you're not allowed to do that.
It's good that they have restrictions because everyone will be running haywire and you'd have a bunch of incomplete projects everywhere and stuff that falls apart during earthquakes. But it's also frustrating when you're like, I'm just trying to build my thing. Can I please have my little place of land on Earth?
Yeah, you'd think, I mean, in my opinion, it's just like, who cares? If the guy owns the land and they're not bothering anyone, let him do a shipping container house if that's what he wants to do.
But also from the other perspective, though, if they let people do like what they want, you look at other countries that don't have regulations, and then you find out like every time the ground shakes, everything collapses and people die.
Well, you still have safety regulations. You just don't have. It's great. Like my parents in their neighborhood, they wanted to build. What is it that they built? They put up a storage shack in the back of the driveway to keep tools and stuff.
Yeah.
One of the neighbors complained to the association that they built this unauthorized structure, and then the association made them take it down.
Dude, that weird kind of like bootlicking where people are just like, I gotta tell the association.
And that's what it is in Malibu. It's not all safety things. This is Malibu. This is rich people. We don't want your poor person structure here. If you're not building a multi-million-dollar home, go somewhere else. That's all it is.
So with your Sprinter, you can be like, oh, you guys want me to leave? Okay. And then you just get up and drive away.
Yeah, so that's like my immediate dream house.
Okay.
And then, of course, it'd be nice to have a vacation house, maybe a private island somewhere.
Oh, that's
probably a common dream. Have your own private island.
Yeah.
Maybe off the coast, maybe like one of the Bahamas.
Okay.
Like a little island in the Bahamas. You have a ferry that goes there, or a little airstrip to fly in once I'm rich enough to take flying lessons and have my own.
Do you want to do that eventually?
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
I could see you flying a plane.
I used to want to be an airline pilot, not an airline pilot, Air Force pilot.
Oh, dude, I used to want to be a Navy pilot when I was a kid.
When I was a kid, that was like one of those kid fantasies, especially after the movie Top Gun. I was like, oh my God.
Same here.
I want to do that.
Same here. I was Maverick. I just wanted to be.
Yeah, Tom Cruise is the man.
Dude, for sure.
But then I think the thing where I was like, oh, I'm not going to be a pilot is I heard you have to do a lot of math.
Do they?
That's what scared me off.
I just have bad eyes.
That's what I heard. I have perfect eyesight.
Oh, good for you.
Physically, no problems. But I heard you have to learn a lot of math to be a military pilot.
It may be. I don't know.
So basically, the competitiveness of learning math scared me off. So it didn't take much. I didn't want it that bad. Clearly,
I didn't know any of those things. Like I never took any of that stuff seriously. So okay. So
I went to a military high school, and for a while, I was planning on joining the military. I ended up smoking weed and having sex with a girl, and that kind of woke me up really fast to not wanting to join the military.
What? How did smoking weed and having sex make you not? You're like, I'm not going to be able to smoke weed and have sex there. So why would I go?
Pretty much, yeah. That's exactly it.
You're like, the smoking weed and having sex is so much better than
When I was 17
saluting.
years old, I was smoking weed and having sex with my girlfriend every other day. And
especially
if you're in the military,
God, it's so powerful at that age, right?
Yeah, and I know from military school, there's not a lot of girls in the military, and the ones that are there are either lesbian or gross for the most part. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's cute girls in the military, but they're few and far between, and they get hit on by every other guy there.
They have their choice, but
so if you're in the military, your sex goes way down. You get drug tested. You're not smoking weed. You're not having fun. And initially, that was the appeal of it to me. But then once I actually started doing those things.
But now, are you sad? Would you trade sex and weed now for being a pilot? Because that sounds pretty dope as you get older. And you're like, weed and sex is kind of cool, but flying a plane? Now that's badass.
I'm still addicted to sex, so probably not.
Some say flying is like making love to the air.
Yeah. It'd be cool. I remember there was this video. I don't remember what it was called, but it was basically a promotional video for the military. And it was these military pilots flying these jets, doing tricks, all sorts of things. And Lenny Kravitz's Fly Away was playing in the background. I must have watched that video 100 times. And I'm like, I want to do that.
His pants rip open for his video with his pants ripping open. I want to get away. And his crotch was open and remember his penis in the ring?
No, what happened?
Lenny Kravitz video of him on stage, and he does the splits real quick, like playing guitar.
And his penis pops out?
His leather pants rip open. His penis pops out, and he has like a weird cock ring on. It's so
That
funny.
is hilarious. I didn't even know about that.
I could have sworn you would be the number one guy.
That's so awesome.
Know that. It's so funny.
But that makes the video less cool. This was not knowing about Lenny Kravitz or his cock ring.
Okay.
And it was just that song, which is a great song. And people zooming around in jets, and I was like, that's what I want to do. Look at how it just looked like freedom, flying through the air.
You could have what I'm going to have in my house. You could have in your fantasy house. You could have a VR headset and a little cockpit.
Yeah.
And you could...
I still, to this day, I don't know why I haven't done it. I have the right computer for it. I have a projector. It'd be sick if I got a flight simulator.
Yeah, dude. It's my plan is to build a cockpit and get a headset.
What do you think those cost? Do you think like a legit flight simulator, maybe $1,000?
Well, if you have a great... Yeah, probably. If you have a great computer already and you don't need to buy a computer, then you can just spend as little as probably a few $100 to a few $1,000.
Well, you need to get a really good flight simulator. You need more than a headset. You need
your joystick.
Yeah, the joystick.
Your throttle.
They sell. haven't looked into it too much, but they sell basically real airline controls.
Yeah.
That are converted to a computer joystick.
Oh, yeah.
That have the same button pressure, the same everything.
Oh, yeah.
So you would essentially know how to fly a plane after that.
Yeah.
But I think they're upwards of
and then you could lie to the next Discovery Channel show and be like, I've been flying planes for years. I would love to be on your show. Naked and in the air or whatever.
I forget what it was. There was something in the news. Was it it was either a terrorist or someone who saved a plane.
Because they played video games?
Yeah, and they go, how did you know how to do that? And he goes, I have a flight simulator. And he literally...
Dude, some guy...
Oh, no, this is what it was. I don't remember when this was, but there was a story of a guy who stole a airplane off of a runway.
Yeah.
And he was by himself on the plane, and he literally just jacked a plane, and and they have a voice of him talking to the flight controls or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
And he was really funny. He was just making jokes the whole time, and he's like, I just wanted to steal it. They're like, please return the plane. And he goes, I'm having too much fun. And he's doing it. And that guy learned on a flight simulator. And that was his first time ever playing. No, he purposely crashed it to his death. He committed suicide.
Oh, my God. This got really morbid really fast. I was all excited. I was like, and then what happened?
But he knew what he was doing. He was flying it around, and it was all from a flight simulator.
And it worked, huh? He's like, it's really taking off now.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he died? That sounds
it's on YouTube. They have the conversation between him and... It was pretty entertaining.
What a weird way to kill yourself.
But yeah, what are some like rich features I'd want in a house? I don't know if you've been in my apartment, but I built a home theater system. I have a projector screen.
Okay.
And just a 1080p projector, and surround sound, which I definitely will take with me to any house I move into.
Because once you go that way, you're never going backwards.
You can never go back to a regular TV. I straight up have a movie theater in my house. It makes it so I don't even care about going to the movie theater, really. Like, movie theater's still bigger and nicer, but mine's so nice. I'd rather just sit at home. That you actually
can enjoy a movie just as comfortably at home.
Yeah. You get whatever food you want. You sit on the couch.
No hassles. Dope. I do love the smell of a movie theater, though. Popcorn and just...
Also, if it's a movie I really want to see badly, and I can't wait for it to come out, I'll still go to a movie theater. But, yeah, movie theater, I barely go there.
Okay, so this is in your... Which house are you having this movie theater in? Is this inside,
so that couldn't fit in the van.
Sprinter?
So that would be... Yeah, Sprinter would just have to be a little TV. So this is
on your island.
On my island house. I would definitely have a home theater system.
What does it look like from the outside? Like if we're like looking at an exterior view, like flying a drone over your island, what am I looking at?
I like modernism and functionality. Mm-hmm. So part of me thinks it would be cool to have like an underground house, but then there's no view. So I think it would just be like a cement modern house, kind of square.
You could have the square cement modern on top.
Mm-hmm. And have an underground bunker. Yeah, I could still have a bunker.
So let's
for sure have a bunker.
Let's go inside this modern house.
Yeah, it would just be kind of gray cement on the outside. Very high insulation, high R. Was it R value? Do you know what it's called? The insulation of a house. Is it R value? I think
it might be something like that. Yeah.
This house would have very thick cement walls.
Okay.
Then the insulation would be perfect. Like.
It's not getting hot or cold in there.
It's not getting hot or cold in this house. Not much.
Okay.
I would have an excellent AC.
That's
top line.
To use, like
quiet. It would be a quiet top line air conditioner. Very energy efficient.
Okay.
I would have solar panels too. This house would be completely off the grid.
Are you an environmentalist? Do you care about? Do you just have an obsession?
Not
with
as much as I should, but yeah, I do care about the environment. I do believe in global warming. I do drive a Prius. I cut down on my red meat intake a lot. I do care about the environment. So this house would be very self-sufficient, high R value, walls, completely solar.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's
Give me a green boner.
this would make every hippie happy. And it wouldn't be. You'd look at it and it wouldn't. I don't think it would have very much style to it. It's pure function. There's
That's
no
okay.
art. There's no art on the walls of my house.
That doesn't have to be. This is your
There's
fantasy
no
house. It
art.
could be however you
Yeah.
want. What does it look like? I'm coming inside your house now. What are you
It's
showing me?
White walls.
White walls.
Yeah.
Okay.
No art.
And then
Just empty white
what's
walls.
the flooring?
Probably hardwood.
Hardwood. Okay. Light or dark?
Medium.
Medium. Okay. So your
Yeah.
Sprinter van's gonna have super light wood, but this is gonna be medium.
Yeah, just medium.
Okay.
The white walls will make it light.
Okay. That's a good contrast.
Yeah, it'll be a good contrast.
Okay. And
All of the home theater system. I mean, the main thing you want in a house for me is a place you never have to leave. So, for example, now in my apartment, there's no washer and dryer in the unit. So I got one that I hook up to my sink
oh, that's great. Okay. So you still can stay in. Okay.
so that I don't have to go to a laundromat.
That's one of the
So
most stressful things about living in an apartment if it doesn't have washer and dryer. Is like
Is to go-
that
I hated
you have
going
your
to
couple days
laundromat.
off every once in a while. You're like you have to spend it.
Yeah, you have to
driving,
spend 2
parking.
hours going to the laundromat. It's just a pain in the ass.
Oh, yeah.
Then you have to wait for it to be done. Whereas at home, you could sit in there, go do your thing,
Live
do
your
whatever you
life.
want.
Yeah, totally.
So the main goal for a house would be a house that I very, very rarely have to leave. So I'd have a fully stocked kitchen, big fridge and freezer combo. I'd have a gym, a home gym for sure. Really nice treadmill and stationary bike.
I was just going to ask, what will you do in this gym? Cardio.
Weights, I'll have weights, I'll have everything. So I think that's too when you hear people who are trying to be humble or not trying to be humble, they just that's what they think. They'll see a big house and they go, "Why do you need all that? I'd be happy with a little house." You don't need all that. But imagine never having to leave your house. Oh, you go to the gym right now? You don't have to go to the gym. You go to the laundromat?
But
you don't have to.
some people go to the gym because it's not in their house. If it was in
Right,
their
they
house,
like
they'd be-
doing that.
Yeah.
I don't like going to the gym. I don't like working out with other strangers. I want to work out in the privacy of my own home.
You would use all of the privacy of your home, especially if you're on
Even if I didn't. Even if I was like, I have found myself not using the gym. It's on me. But if I want to use the gym, I don't have to go to the gym.
and it's on an
That's the
island,
beauty.
so it is convenient that you have your.
Bowling alley, might as well have that in the house.
Yeah. What do the walls look like in your bowling alley? I want to visually see like
White walls.
white walls,
Yeah, it's empty white walls.
empty white walls.
This would be a very, function over fashion.
But there's got to be.
If I did put something on the walls, it would be maybe, comedy accomplishments I've done in my life, comedy posters.
Okay.
That type of thing.
Okay, yeah,
artwork that
celebrating.
I've made, but I'm not going out and buying artwork
Okay.
for the walls.
'Cause I was going to say you
I'm
were
not
painting,
printing
but no.
movie posters out of my favorite movies. It's going to be stuff that it's going to be my accomplishments in my life. My headshots are lining the walls. Pictures of myself.
Every time you roll the ball, does it
I'm
get
going to have
struck?
artists come in and do murals of me all over the walls. This is my palace.
It's a ego bowling.
This is
alley.
my kingdom.
The bowling pins are all your face on them.
Yes. This is not a house for others. This is a house for me.
Yeah, it's allowed to. It's allowed
And
to
if someone's
be ego.
like, "Oh yeah, you have an ego," okay, leave. This is my house, not yours.
It's called psychology. We all have egos, bro.
Yeah,
Get out.
private beach, private pool. I love the jacuzzi. That's the one thing I'll miss in the van, and something I'm missing right now. I'm thinking about. So I converted my one-car garage to a podcast studio,
I know. I've podcasted there before.
and I want to take the other podcast or the other garage and turn that into a jacuzzi room.
That's great.
So I want to put AstroTurf on the floors, glow-in-the-dark stars on the ceilings, have
Yeah.
some fake plants around, and put a little jacuzzi
Like a
in there.
theatrical or TV set of like a backyard with a jacuzzi in it kind of feeling. Mm-hmm. That's great. I love that, dude. I love jacuzzis. I love AstroTurf, and I used to have stars on my ceiling when I was a little kid.
Yeah. I'm into tacky shit.
That's kind of cool, though. It's a very Spencer's Gifts jacuzzi setup.
So that's my plan and where I currently live. But yeah, I would definitely have a in-ground jacuzzi and pool in my fantasy house. I'd have a gym. What else do you need? Kitchen.
Yeah, what kind of kitchen?
I'd have an
I love
office, of
kitchens.
course, and the home theater.
Tell me what your kitchen looks like. Describe it to me. What would
I
you
like
cook in there?
stainless steel, marble countertops,
Marble countertops. Okay. Mm-hmm. Very beautiful.
big oven, big fridge, big freezer. It'd be stocked with all the apple cider and Kool-Aid.
Apple cider vinegar? Or, oh, okay.
Just regular apple cider. Just like all the junky drinks that kids like.
Yeah.
I'd have that Coke, Diet Coke, vanilla Coke.
500,000 grams of sugar in your refrigerator.
I think I saw a picture of Dane Cook, and he opened it up, and it was just filled with all the like sodas and junk, like Mexican sodas, stuff like that. I'd want that, and that's something.
So tasty. Otter Pops?
Otter Pops, Haagen-Dazs coffee ice cream.
Oh.
It's a little thing.
Is that what you like? Hot coffee ice cream from Haagen-Dazs?
Mm-hmm. That's my favorite ice cream.
Oh, dude. Haagen-Dazs is good, too.
Haagen-Dazs is so good, so creamy.
Have you had Tillamook?
No. Tillamook ice cream?
No, Tillamook. Like
Tillamook?
Like Tillamook County up in Oregon. Tillamook.
It's an ice cream brand?
Well, they used to do just cheese for a long time, but they make ice cream that's really good.
But they don't sell it here, do they?
Yeah, they do now.
Where?
At the grocery stores. It's really
I can get
good.
it at Ralph's?
I'm pretty sure.
Tillamook?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I'll try it.
Tillamook.
Tillamook.
Tillamook, I think.
I'd have a room to make pottery in, a pottery wheel.
Dude!
That's kind of my meditation.
No one's had a pottery room yet in Fantasy House.
Yeah, I like going on the pottery wheel just to not think about the rest of the world.
Will it play the song from Ghost every time you're in there?
It'd have an Alexa in there, so you could play whatever you want.
Alexa, John's here. And it'll just be like, oh, my darling.
So it'd have that song amongst others.
Okay.
Be connected to the cloud. It'd have really high-speed internet, probably a T1 line privately. I'd spend $1 million getting a private T1 line to the island.
Yeah, I was going to say, how would you get a T1 line all the way to your island?
I'd figure it out. I'd pay whatever it costs. Or actually, these days, you could probably get pretty fast satellite internet.
You'd have to, right? It's Fantasy
Yeah,
House, though, so you
5G.
could have a line as long as you want.
Who
Trillion
knows?
lines.
I'd figure it out, but it'd be high-speed internet. No problem streaming 4K video
Good.
or uploading 4K.
I don't ever want issues like that.
I'd have security cameras in every room, and the house would be closely monitored from anywhere. I could look up the security cameras from my phone. So I'd have very high-tech security.
What if there's something going wrong? How does it get solved? Are you in charge of security?
I'd have a gun room for sure. I'd have many, many guns.
Do you like guns?
I love guns. I currently have a 12-gauge shotgun and a pistol.
I remember your bit about your 12 gauge. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I have a gun bit.
Yeah.
But if I had a fantasy house and had money, I would have a room dedicated to guns.
Who's the freaking poker dude that Dan Bilzerian?
Oh, does he have a bunch of guns?
Dude,
Yeah,
he had
I would
this Instagram that was like just this huge.
I would have grenades. I would have a private shooting range in my fantasy house.
Oh, that's cool. Indoor private shooting range?
Outdoor.
Oh, okay.
It's so much more fun outdoor.
It really is.
Indoor ranges are fun, but setting up beer bottles and shooting them outside
I
and
agree.
having a skeet shooter and shooting it with a 12-gauge shotgun, I'll
skeet
say
shooting.
this. I've met a lot of people who are anti-guns in the world, and for good reason.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially in America, there's shootings.
Yeah.
I'm not saying everyone has to love guns, but if you go skeet shooting at an outdoor range,
Oh my God, it's so
and you
much fun.
finish doing that, and you still don't like guns,
You're lying.
You're lying.
You're lying.
It's so much fun.
Skeet shooting is like going to the batting cages. It's so much
so
freaking fun.
I don't care how anti-guns you are.
Yeah.
If you go skeet shooting, you'd be like, okay, this shouldn't be illegal.
It's
we
so
should be allowed
much
to go skeet
freaking
shooting.
fun. Oh, yeah.
It's so fun.
It's so much fun. There's
There's
something
a-
primal about ping, like making that mark.
it's just shooting. It's like using a slingshot and aiming it at shit. It's
called task positive when your brain is focused on a bullseye. So tracking the skeet as it's going up, shooting it, and then the satisfaction of it shattering and like
It's
hitting
amazing.
it is orgasmic to a certain part of your brain. So
Yeah,
it is.
you could do it for hours.
Oh yeah.
So I would definitely have an outdoor shooting range.
Skeet,
I'd
skeet,
probably
skeet.
have a thing like where you could hit golf balls into the water.
Oh,
Off
fun.
the island. That'd be pretty fun.
I'm
I'd like
hoping
a
they
private
dissolve.
little. When I was a kid, this is gonna make me sound rich, but I already said my dad's a doctor. At our house, we had in our backyard. He had a pool and jacuzzi.
Yeah.
And our house, the backyard was faced a canyon.
Yeah.
Like an empty canyon. Now they've built it up. You can't do this anymore, but this was 15, 20 years ago, whenever it was.
For Mr. Peabody's coal train. Yeah.
And we would we took one of those turf mats from the driving range.
Yeah.
And we would buy bags of golf balls, and we would just hit them off into the canyon.
Just drive
from
into
our
the canyon.
backyard.
Oh man, fun.
And it was so much fun. It was a blast. So if
My brother would love that.
if I could recreate that life, it's kind of, I think they have it on some cruise ships. But yeah.
Yeah, where you hit it off the back of the ship. Yeah. I wonder. The eco side of me wonders: does the ball dissolve, or what happens to that?
It can't be good.
They got to make
But
balls that dissolve.
that's not my problem. I'd pay scuba divers to go collect them.
Good for you.
I remember watching a whole special on, I don't remember what channel. I want to say Discovery Channel. There's people's whole living is to go to golf courses in scuba outfits and collect the golf balls out of lakes, and they make 70, 80 grand a year doing it.
is that they just dive and get
They
the balls
dive
out?
and pick up golf balls.
And they get 70 or 80.
Yeah, and they resell the golf balls. There's people that's in their entire business. That's their entire life. What do you do for a living? I dress up in scuba outfit.
What are they called?
And I go
Ball
get golf
divers?
balls. And you know, it sounds like, oh, that'd be kind of a cool job. Those lakes are gross. Have you seen the golf course lakes?
Yeah, you can't see through them.
They're
like sewage.
disgusting sewage water. And some of them have alligators. In Florida, there's alligators and shit in them.
Oh, really? So you're like risking your life in Florida going?
Kinda. I don't know if they're risking. I think the average human could take on an alligator, but yeah, you could get fucked up.
Oh, that's scary, dude.
I wonder how many alligator deaths there are a year.
You just made me
There's
nervous.
crocodile deaths for sure.
Oh, that's weird.
I'm sure they're trained for that. Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. Is there like a union?
Why would they do it, right?
Is there a
If
union?
they're in Florida and they know there's crocodiles and alligators, they would have to at least have some base knowledge on taking down alligators.
I don't like
before they
any
would do
jobs
that.
where like, you could die. I'm like, it's just a job, though. I don't want to die. But people do it.
Yeah, I feel like most jobs,
Have
as
some
a
sort of
realtor, you know, that's a pretty dangerous job. You could be standing there one day just giving a tour of the living room, and someone could crash their semi-truck into the living room and kill everyone in there.
Oh, dude, I am done showing homes.
I guess now that you had me thinking about my fantasy house, I guess I'm not as simple as I thought I was because I want a golf course, a bowling alley.
Yep.
Or not a golf course, a driving range, a bowling alley, a home gym. I guess I do have... See, this, in a sense, even though this is such a happy-go-lucky podcast, it made me a little depressed because now I realize I have a lot of money I need to make if I want my dream house.
This is supposed to make you uplifted and use your imagination, not making you depressed.
Yeah, it's supposed to be an uplifting podcast. Now it's just realizing I'm never going to be rich enough to have my dream house.
I mean, what I hope happens from this is that you get inspired to apply, and you
Or
are
I could have
the
my
guy.
dream house. I would just have to live in, like, Mesquite, Texas.
Yeah, and that doesn't sound so bad at all. You would apply some of these things. Like Matt Edgar was on, and he was talking about these things that he wanted, and he's like, I could never have those things, can I? And I was like, you might not be able to have this giant 10-acre compound, but like you talked about these certain fireplaces, these fire pits that you want. It's like you can have a cool fire pit at whatever house you have if it just has at least a little yard. Like it's supposed to inspire. Like you're supposed to take some things out of the abstract and apply it. And so like you're already doing that though. Like you already can have like this jacuzzi you're talking about. It's like, oh, you can
In the
kind of
garage,
build
yeah.
it.
To the,
Yeah,
or if
you already
want,
have your home theater.
Or
like-
I got a really nice shower head. That made me happy.
Exactly. It's
I
those
got like
little
one of
things.
those rainfall shower heads.
Yeah.
And now when I take a shower in my apartment,
You love it?
In my apartment, it's like the best shower ever.
That's what I'm talking about. So applying it right now instead
wanna
of
go home and
waiting
take
for
a
your
shower right
billionaire Kanye West house, you just do it right now in little ways.
One of
and
the
appreciate
best
it.
things in life is to take a Mexican Coke and a hot shower.
At the same time,
At the
you like
same
drink
time.
it, drink it.
Yeah, like an ice cold
Yeah.
Mexican Coke and just sit in your shower. And
I feel the same way about buffalo wings.
Drink it? You
I
ever
love
do
eating
that?
buffalo wings in the shower
Do you really?
because they're super messy and yeah. I mean, I've talked about it a bunch, so I don't want to like overdo it. But yeah,
It
love
sounds
eating
incredible.
buffalo wings.
But how do you keep them from getting wet? It's like a big
Well, I don't
shower.
have a rain shower head, so like if the shower, I have like
Oh, you
it's a
could
pretty
just-
big shower head.
Yeah, yeah.
But like if it's blasting from behind me, you can eat the buffalo wings.
Got it.
And then you just throw them. You move the trash can by the thing, right? Right next to the shower. Then you're throwing them away.
How's your wife feel about this?
I haven't done it in years.
What? Why? If you love it so much.
I also love listening to loud music and being inebriated in the shower. And I have kids. I have 2 kids.
Minus
I never
inebriated.
I never get to do any of this
The
stuff.
kids is not an excuse for not being able to eat chicken wings in the shower. You could do that with kids.
I'm telling my wife, babe, you hear that?
If your wife doesn't let you eat chicken wings in the shower,
It's not that she doesn't let me. I mean, it's
Divorce
just,
her right now.
When you have young kids, unless you are wealthy and have nannies, like literally taking the kids, and you're just like, oh, I have kids, but I'm not like around them.
I disagree. I think you're making excuses right now.
No, dude.
You don't need to be wealthy.
It's chaos
to
when
get
I'm home.
Here's the thing. You can afford chicken wings, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you buy chicken wings.
Mm-hmm.
Step 1.
Yeah, I got that.
You already shower, right?
Probably getting some on the way home. Yeah, shower every day. It's
You
part of
shower every day.
Part of my miracle morning, dog.
Okay. So tonight, once you tuck the kids in and you're going to bed, you go to bed, right? Mm-hmm. You say, "Hey, I'm gonna take a shower and eat chicken wings." It could be midnight. You get in the shower, you have chicken wings. You can do that. Doesn't matter how busy you are.
I feel like I'd be letting you down if I didn't do this tonight.
You don't have to do it tonight, but you know you can do it. You can't say, "Oh, I can't do that anymore. I have kids." Yeah, you can. I'm not asking you to go to a strip club or go to Mexico for the weekend. I'm asking you to go to the grocery store, get chicken wings, and bring them with you in the shower.
I'm probably going to do it.
It's a doable thing.
I'm probably going to do it.
Doesn't matter how busy you are, how poor you are, or how many kids you have.
I'm
it's
probably
a doable thing.
I'll do it again, dude.
Yeah.
I'm going to play Metallica, Ride the Lightning, and I'm just going to
You should videotape yourself
drink
doing
tequila.
it. People would love to see it.
You think so?
Your friends and family on social media would love to see you in a shower
Okay.
eating chicken wings.
Okay.
Do you have a Patreon?
Yeah.
Your Patreoners would love to see that.
Would you guys love to see that? I know they would. 'Cause
I know I would. I'm not going to pay for your Patreon to do it, but I would love to see that.
Okay. I'm going to have to ask my wife to film this.
You in a shower with chicken wings?
Consider it done.
You're making me want to do it too.
Should we do it together and
Or
film
maybe
the video?
have you
in the shower.
Have you ever
eating
laid
buffalo?
down in a bath with chicken wings? That seems doable.
Probably. I love laying down in the bath. And
The way my shower is laid out, it's not that conducive to eating. It's like a wet shower. It's a small shower.
Okay. But a bath you could chill in. I love being in the bath. In fact, I don't have a jacuzzi right now, but I love jacuzzis and I love eating. And I've eaten in jacuzzis many, many times. I love being inebriated and eating in jacuzzis.
I didn't realize you were such an alcoholic.
I'm not an alcoholic. I mean, I didn't say I like to drink 10 whiskeys and not get up for work the next day, but I like, like having a nice buzz and chilling in a jacuzzi or in a shower or a bath. And I'm craving that right now because of us talking about it so much.
Yeah, me too, actually. I literally, when I brought up the shower thing, I was like, I think I'm going to go home after this podcast and bring a cold soda with me and take a shower.
Dude, I have to. I'm so stoked that we talked about this because I want to. Where else? Speaking of the cold shower, what's your bathroom like in your fantasy house?
In my fantasy house, it'd have a Japanese toilet.
Okay, so it's a hole in the ground. You squat over it. No, that's an Indian toilet. Sorry.
No, that's
Pakistani toilet. Or
Have you ever seen Japanese toilets? They're like these smart toilets, basically.
Yep, super high tech.
Yeah, you can press a button for the seat to go up and down.
Yep.
And it has a bidet built into it. You
Yep.
can get these now. They're not that crazy. They're a few $100s. You can get them on Amazon.
Again, this is
Japanese
another
toilet
thing that
seats.
you can just have that you're talking about in your fantasy house that you actually could.
Well, the reason I can't have it now,
because you're in an apartment.
but you could change the toilet seat in an apartment. But I looked into it, and it needs an outlet, and it would really look ugly in my apartment.
That's
where
why
the
I like
outlet
though.
is.
I saw a bidet at Costco the other day because I got a new toilet. My wife's birthday present. She wanted.
So you kind of have to plan for it.
I saw it. And it had this big old cable. And it's
So
like,
when I'm building the house, I go, I need a power outlet right behind the toilet. That's what you got to do.
and I need you to hide this ugly cable.
Yeah, well, I could hide the cable, but right now it's like the power outlet's up by the sink. So it look, no matter how you do it, it'd
Be
be
in
an
the way,
ugly.
it'd look ugly, yeah.
It'd look ugly. But if you had a power outlet right behind the toilet, then it's a doable thing.
You don't even have to rebuild your house. I mean, you can have an electrician do that for $350.
Yeah, but I'm a renter. I'm not gonna. That's at what point do you go? Okay, I need to just.
It
Give
is
up.
something you could discuss with your landlord and say, "Hey, we take $350 off my rent if I pay an electrician to put this on here." They probably won't do it.
He would say absolutely not.
He would say-
no. I go, what for? I go, that way in the future, your future tenants could also have a bidet toilet seat. He'd be like, no.
I'm forcing appreciation on your rental, dude. Like, you should thank me. And he's going to be like, no.
I mean, I've made the place. I have a good deal on my apartment,
Yeah.
but I've repainted it. I've done a lot of nice things.
What else is in this bathroom? So you have a Japanese toilet. What kind of bath do you
Japanese
have in the shower?
toilet, separate his and her shower. Even though I'm going to be in it by myself, I still want a his and her shower for the rare times I get company.
Yeah.
It's fun.
That's very nice that you have.
I like taking showers with women.
Who doesn't, right? Even
Gay
women
guys.
like it. It's great.
Gay guys probably don't like it as much as I do,
I'm sure gay guys like showering with women, right? They're
but
fun.
not as much as me.
No.
I like showering with women so much more than gay guys.
Is that one of your favorite things to do, is showering with women?
And know that I like it more than gay guys.
Are you competitive with all gay guys?
Yeah, I'm very competitive with gay guys. I like showering with women so much more than any homosexual on this planet. I can guarantee it. If you're a homosexual out there listening, you go, I like showering with women too. Not as much as me.
I feel like most gay guys would be like, you can fucking have them.
Yeah, they would.
You want to shower with them? Fucking do it. Have you ever showered with a dude?
My brother's gay, and he told me that. He might have been joking,
yeah.
but I was like, I don't remember how it came up. But I said, well, how did you know you? I think I might have said, like, how did you know you were gay? Which is stupid because you're attracted to men. That's how. But I think he said, well, I think one day I realized I just hate women.
That doesn't mean you're gay. It just means that women annoy the shit out of you.
Yeah,
Oh, dude.
made me laugh.
What
What else is in the bathroom? Yeah, so
describe
his
what
and
it
her
looks like. So it's got his and her shower.
Beautiful tile.
what kind of tile? What's beautiful?
It's just modern, you know what I mean? Just
Modern,
perfectly
like
laid out. I'd have great caulking in between the tiles.
Great
I mean, it would be
caulking.
perfectly caulked tile.
just like you.
Yeah.
Perfectly cocked.
And it would have a rainfall shower head, 2 of them.
Yep.
In the shower with a water filter too, so the water is very soft.
And like a built-in buffalo wing bucket.
Yeah. It would. I'd have surround sound speakers in the bathroom.
Okay.
Because I love listening to music. I would have probably even a TV screen in the shower so that I could take a shower and I would watch movies while I shower. And I know what you're thinking, like how you're going to waste so much water in the shower. No, remember, this is a perfectly green house.
It's a gray water shower, isn't it?
It's a shower. I have high tech water filters, and I'm recycle all the water I use. So it would use a little water because of evaporation and stuff like that. But even a 2-hour shower in this house would use less water than your shitty track home. So if you're a peasant out there that was thinking that I waste water, you waste water. You fucking track home peasant piece of shit.
Okay. You peasant. Oh, dude. I waste water. You waste water. Okay. Where else should we go? Is there anywhere else in the house? Have we seen everything?
I'd have probably an Olympic-sized swimming pool, just because I like to say that I have Olympic-sized things in my house. I'd have a big NFL-sized football field to play catch with my kids and just, toss the old pigskin around. So yeah, not pretty modest overall. I'd say a modest house.
It's a modest island house with.
I'd have
football field,
half court basketball court. It would be NBA size court, but only half court.
Nice.
And the reason I do that is I don't play basketball myself, but I would spend the money once a year and have Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant play 1-on-1 against each other.
You pay them to come out?
Yeah, they'd come out to my island.
You like you were a king?
They'd come out to my island. I'd pay them not just to play the 1-on-1 game against each other, but they would have to also then just hang out with me on the island for the day.
That's very North Korean dictator of you, but I like that. I think that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty fun. Who do you think would win?
Oh, Michael Jordan.
Even against Kobe, even though Kobe's young and Michael Jordan's old now?
Yeah, they're both old enough now.
Kobe's only 30? And Michael Jordan's 70.
Kobe Bryant's only 30 years old?
How old is Kobe Bryant?
Wow.
Maybe I'm old. I thought Kobe was 24.
You might be right.
Kobe Bryant's probably... I'm going to guess Kobe Bryant's 36. I bet you he's 36.
Well, that just went up significantly since your last guess.
I guess that's true.
Kobe Bryant is 41 years old.
Wow, I didn't think Kobe Bryant was in his 40s. I'm old.
You're right. He's probably a lot younger than MJ and would have a good shot of beating him, but they'd put up a fight. MJ likes to stay fit.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the greatest of all time.
Mm-hmm.
So, dude, you're freaking...
Is it a good house?
It's a great house. I want to eat buffalo wings with you.
Would you live there?
And Michael Jordan in the shower.
Oh, and this pool and jacuzzi I have wouldn't be chlorine either. It would be salt water.
I hope so.
Of course.
I mean, you've got the beach right there. You can
I know a lot of people have fish walls. I'd have a big terrarium room in the house because, as you know, I love reptiles. So I would have a rock iguana, a reticulated python. I'd have a lot of exotic pets in the house. Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's a badass island. It's an island fit for the guy who owns the Virgin Airlines, but it's you.
Mm-hmm. It's me. Yeah, it's probably. I wonder. Yeah,
Richard Branson.
It's one of those things where, do I need the stuff that I'm mentioning? Yeah.
You don't.
Yeah, I need that stuff.
It's a fantasy house, though. It doesn't even matter. You don't even have to justify it. They're dude, what do you need that for? It's
but see, everything I'm saying isn't really. Now that I'm saying it out loud, I realize isn't really just something I hope for. It's something that I need.
Yeah. In some form or another?
Yeah. And if I don't get those things, then my life isn't worth living.
What if you got those things and you're still unfulfilled? What would you do?
For sure would be, by the way.
Okay, you would?
Yeah. Everything I've ever got, I felt unfulfilled the next day.
So this would also unfulfill you the next day as well?
Absolutely.
You'd have this
would not make me happy.
I need this to survive. And the next day you'd be it's not enough.
No. It's that age-old study that everyone talks about, but no one knows what the study was. But once you make past $70,000 a year, you're not any happier.
Is that true? I mean,
that's what the study said, and I
but
get
in
it.
California though, it's got to be like 150.
Yeah, maybe it's a little different now.
Your healthcare,
this was an old saying. So yeah, let's say $100K a year. Because think about it, it's like once you have, let's say you have a brand new Honda Civic,
yep,
and then you got a Ferrari.
Yep,
that Ferrari is going to make you happy for a week, and then you're going to be like,
I need a Bugatti.
I just need a good car that gets me from A to B.
Yeah.
No, you realize that. You don't care about that. You just want a comfortable car that could play your music.
That's reliable. That you don't
that's reliable
stop.
and that plays the music you want to listen to.
Yeah. Which, by the way, the new Civics are very nice, so you really could get.
That's what I mean. So if you have a Civic and you had a new Mercedes, you're not going to be any happier.
Dude, I know people that want like that are like oohing and awing over people that make like $250,000, $300,000 a month, and I'm just like, what are you going to do with it anyways? You know what I mean? Like,
don't get me wrong, it'd be cool.
It sounds fun,
but in the end of the day, you're not going. That person isn't going to be way happier than you. Because they have nicer things than you.
And at what price? It's like if you can make that money doing stuff that you love, then great. But if you had to like go out of your way and ruin other stuff in your life to make that money, it's like it's not.
Here's where happiness, getting richer, won't help you. If you have if you own a house,
yep,
you own a reliable car,
yep,
you could eat whatever you want,
yep,
and you have an assistant, so you don't have to do the little annoying things. Once you're at that level of rich, you're not going to be any happier.
You don't need that much.
Getting
more.
To the billionaire level.
So you think an assistant is part of like Maslow's hierarchy of needs? Like you need an assistant to not have to go to so you don't have to
think
go to
about
the DMV?
like, yeah, exactly. It's like DMV, like.
But don't you have guilt though because of knowing that the assistant has to do that stuff?
No, because that's their job. You're paying them to do that.
Do they have an assistant, or are you always wondering like?
If they want an assistant, they have to figure out how to get to your level of income where they could get an assistant.
But then they'll have an assistant that they're going to have to worry about.
Yeah.
And
no, I wouldn't feel guilty.
Okay.
If I was paying someone, I'd tell. It's not like it's, hey, surprise, you have to go to the DMV. When they're getting hired, hey, this is why I'm hiring you. I'm hiring
it's not
you
my business
to do the things that I
this?
hate doing.
I see.
So you have to go pick up my kids from school. You have to go do my laundry at the laundromat. You know, I wouldn't mind having to go laundromat if I could pay someone to do it, if I could afford that.
I could see you being a guy in a one-bedroom that doesn't have its own laundry and having an
assistant.
Yeah, an assistant. And
I don't need to move. I'll just get an assistant.
Yeah, it's like, this place is great for me.
Yeah.
I loved your fantasy house and your mind. Dude, it's just fun, like getting to pick your mind and hear all your fun stuff, dude. Because
was mine creative. Unique, or does it sound like everyone else's?
It's like the rest of our experience and existence. Like some things are common traits and other things are unique.
What was the hackiness in my house? What was one where you're like, yeah, everyone wants that? Japanese toilet? What's like?
Japanese. I mean, I don't look at you asking for negative comments.
Just so I know what to work on for the future. What was like the hackiest thing I asked for in my house? The bunker?
No, I mean,
nothing.
I don't know. I mean, like I said, there's common stuff. I don't want to say it's
what's
hacky.
a common? Yeah, that's what I mean.
People
by hacky.
have like they have their movie theaters. They have their their big beautiful kitchens with nice countertops.
Right.
Islands.
Yeah, those are
sure, people have that.
How could I make
I don't judge
kitchen.
An episode off of that. I enjoy picking your brain and finding out like what part is particularly like exciting for you, and then like the conversation that comes out.
I would have a built-in rice cooker into the countertop. Is that unique?
That is, and I love it.
I fixed it.
And you have a room with a wheel, a pottery wheel in it.
The pottery wheel,
You have Michael Jackson and Michael Jordan and Kobe.
I have
That'd
Michael
be funny
Jackson
if you paid Michael Jackson to play basketball.
Dude, Michael Jackson, talk about a guy with a fantasy house. That guy had a fantasy house.
He did have a weird fantasy house. I don't know if I'd feel comfortable doing his episode.
I think for season 2 of the Fantasy House podcast,
yeah,
you should interview people that have fantasy houses
in real life.
Like
seek out actual celebrities that have already had the
or
crazy
just
house.
Rich people. Or you could even knock on you could go to a $30 million house in LA and just knock on the front door and say, hey, will you be on my Fantasy House podcast?
It seems like that'll take a lot of time to find a lot of people like having the security escort me off their property. But I will. I might attempt that for season 2. But no, dude, I loved it. I think that was great, and I loved hearing about your tiny house and just riffing with you about your experiences as a comedian and some of the weird shit you've gotten yourself into. So
yeah, I'm gonna die alone.
Where can people find you?
AriMannis.com or just my name, Ari Mannis. I'm everywhere. YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
Spell your name so they can find you.
AriMannis.
Yeah. Thank you so much for doing this, dude.
Thanks for having me.
This was a blast. I love riffing with you. It's a pleasure.
Yeah. You're my best friend.
Dude, I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for listening. Hashtag blessed guest, guys. If you are a new listener, hit the subscribe button. Give us a 5-star review. And if you have been listening for a while, hit that share button. And
wait, where is there a share button?
Like on Instagram, on Apple Podcasts or whatever. There's a share button. Yeah, you can like on any episode of anything.
So subscribe, leave a review, and share it.
So if you're a new listener, you'd hit the subscribe button and
leave a review, of course.
And if you've been listening to it for a while, just
share
hit the
a link
button
to the iTunes on your social media for us.
You can set it on social media. You can even if you hit
Email
the
it or
share button,
text
it'll let you text it. You can be like, my cousin Cheryl, she would love this episode.
If you really want to support John, or you'd call him a friend, you'd share his podcast with someone else. And if you don't, you're selfish and not a real friend. In my opinion. If you haven't shared John's podcast, you're not a good friend.
I hope that I hope your listeners hear that and they're like, you know what? I'm going to do a solid for John, for Ari.
Yeah, if you're my listeners, share John's and Ari's.
You guys, thank you so much.
I think I will bring 60 listeners to this podcast.
That'd be killer.
I truly believe, I have the confidence to say that 60 people are going to be listening to this for me and not for you. They're going to be like, oh, Ari's on it? I want to hear it.
And then hopefully they still subscribe to hear other episodes?
60. Of those 60, how many will subscribe? Some. I don't know if all 60 will.
I'd say the percentage of people that subscribe that listen per is probably, I want to say 5-10% after they listen to. So you'd have
6 people. So according to that math, I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I can't speak for that, but I think I'm going to at least get 60 listeners.
Yeah.
And 6 of those will subscribe.
Because if you had 1,000 listeners that listened for your specific episode, 100 new subscribers. Yeah, totally. So 65, yeah. So 5. So let's hope that you get 600 people to listen.
That'd be nice. I'm just guaranteeing 60.
Oh, dude.
I'm guaranteeing 60. Who knows how many will listen.
If 60 doesn't happen, do I get my money back somehow for having?
No, just my favorite. It's just me doing something nice for you again. You're so sweet, people.
You guys, you hear
selfless.
That? Just be good and do cool stuff, guys. Be silly and have fun. Mwah!
Thanks for having me on.
Dude, thank you for being on. It was so much fun.